Okay, it looks like everybody's in here. All right. Good morning, everybody. My name is Diane Navarro. Thank you guys so much for joining WorkSource and the Apple STEM Network for today's virtual Meet the Employer. Today, we are joined by Manager of Business Management and Regional Services, Heather Collins, and Stephen Madzak, a Manufacturing Academy instructor with the Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee, or AJAC, for an information presentation. Heather will be sharing a great information about their current employment opportunities with the North Central region. And I'd also like to quickly introduce my team on this call. Tammy McBride, partner with NCESD and the Apple STEM Network, and Maria Maravilla, WorkSource Wenatchee Valley. Now I'm going to hand it over to Tammy to review a bit of our housekeeping information.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for joining us. As you know, we will be doing our slideshow today. If you could please keep your audio on mute during the presentation. Slightly after, there will be a question and answer section of our presentation where you can unmute yourself and you can show video if you want and ask your questions, or you can do your question through the chat feature, which is at the bottom of your screen, and ask your questions that way. Thanks, Diane, and you can finish.
Thank you, Tammy. And it's now my pleasure to welcome Heather Collins with AJAC to kick off our presentation. Good morning, Heather, and thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here today and talk to you guys about some of the opportunities that we have here at AJAC. So I just want to start with talking a little bit about us. So AJAC is a nonprofit organization that was founded in 2008, and our goal is to provide apprenticeship and trainings into the advanced manufacturing industry and help support that pipeline and that workforce development. So in 2008, we started out, just a little bit of background, with serving some of the employers over on the west side of the state, in Seattle, and all of the companies that were making parts for Boeing. We were training up that workforce to support the manufacturing industry. And so I think that's where the Aerospace Joint Apprenticeship Committee comes from, because that's where we got our start. But one of the first things I always like to say is that since 2008, we have expanded quite a bit. And now we really just serve advanced manufacturing as a whole, as an industry. So all of our training to include the aerospace industry, but we also have programs that support any type of advanced manufacturing, including food processing and some other, different industries that we have across the state. So what we do is we provide both apprenticeship training and then just employment training to help people get ready to enter the manufacturing industry. So today, what I kind of want to talk to everyone about on the call is two of our programs we'll be covering. The first one is our Manufacturing Academy program, and then the second one is a youth apprenticeship program opportunity that we have. So we'll just take some time to cover both of those. You can go to the next slide. Thank you so much. So the first focus, like I said, today we'll be talking about our Manufacturing Academy program, which I'm really excited to be talking to everyone about this today, because this is a project that Stephen and I have been working on for a little over a year now that we've got it started down in Yakima. So just so you know, I am based in Yakima, but I serve all of Central Washington. So my position is regional. And so we've been working on our pre-apprenticeship program called Manufacturing Academy. And pre-apprenticeship is designed to help people who might not have a lot of experience in manufacturing or are looking for a career switch and think that manufacturing is an interest. The entire goal of Manufacturing Academy is to give people the foundational skills that they need to get into the manufacturing industry and continue their career there. So just a little bit of information about what we have coming up. We do this program as an 11-week training, and like you can see, it's for 20 hours a week. So we do our training from Monday through Friday for 4-hour classes from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. One thing that's really unique about the upcoming classes, so the next Manufacturing Academy starts January 5th, and it will run until March 23rd. And one thing that's unique is we are teaching this both in person at our location in Yakima. You can see the address on the flyer there. But we also have just built out Stephen's classroom to be hybrid, so we can do online as well. So this is something that anybody across the state could access, and you can log in from your computer and see the classroom live. We have webcams and equipment and things that you can watch and learn from in the classroom, and then follow along with what's going on in class from your own home, as long as you have a computer and internet. So that's a really unique thing that we've been able to do to hopefully offer this training to more people. In a second, I'll let Stephen talk a little bit more about what that training entails, but you know, just a few questions that I normally get for Manufacturing Academy. We don't have any cost for this program. It's a workforce training program, and we utilize some different grants and funding to make sure that it's no cost to any of our students. And we take anybody 16 and up, as long as it doesn't interfere with their school schedule, to attend Manufacturing Academy. And then at the end of Manufacturing Academy, we help connect all of our graduates to employment in their local area. So we do resume and interview training, and then the entire goal is to help connect all of our students to jobs at the end of that 11 weeks. Over those 11 weeks, we cover a lot of different subjects, and there's no one better to talk about it than the instructor himself. So Stephen, I'm going to turn it over to you for a second. Do you want to talk about some of the skills and projects and things that we do in class?
Yes, good morning. And at the end of this, I will put my email in the chat. If you have any specific questions, please feel free to reach out to me, and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Like Heather said, we started out in aerospace, so our programs basically dealt with industries focused on building airplanes. We soon realized that there are a lot more industries in this state than just companies supporting Boeing. The introduction to automation will provide some groundwork for how different processes are automated. We will talk about the components of automation, fluid power systems, mechanical power systems, basic electricity and electronics. Print reading is a skill that everyone in industry would benefit from, as well as precision measurement, tape measures, calipers, and micrometers. I don't want anyone to get frightened with math. That is my favorite subject to teach, and it is all practical application. The workbook we use is one that steps through fractions and decimals to trigonometry, but it is all practically applied in real world scenarios. So don't get hung up on math or any word used to describe math. We got this. Back to you, Heather.
All right, thank you so much. So yeah, just a few things that we cover. We do try really hard to make this a very interactive and hands-on class. And you might be wondering, how do we make it hands-on if you're going to be attending virtually from home and logging in on your computer? So one thing that we do is we put together a project kit of some of the things that the students do in person in class that our virtual students can also do from home. So there's things like a radio kit that we solder together. We give you the precision measurements tools that Stephen was talking about. We also do Legos for precision measurement, and also building things because it's fun. Blueprint reading and all sorts of different stuff. We send all of that to our virtual students so that even if you're not located in Yakima and not able to attend in person, you can still keep up with all of those projects that we're working on. So the other thing that we do is we provide certifications. So there is an OSHA 10 safety certification, first aid and CPR certification, a forklift safety certification, and then at the end of the class, you'll get a certificate of completion as well. And then, like I said, with an updated resume and interviewing skills. So that's just a little bit about the next class. It starts January 5th. I still have seats open. So if you're interested, you can enroll online. You can see the link there, manufacturingacademy.org. Or at the end of this presentation, you'll see my email, and I know Stephen typed his email in the chat. If you have any questions before you want to enroll, you can always reach out to either one of us and we'll help you out. So I think we can go to the next slide. I think we have a video of Manufacturing Academy. Yeah, so we have a short video too that kind of shows you a little bit of what we do. Thank you. Very short video, but it's kind of cool just to get that visual, I think, of some of the stuff that we do. So you can go ahead and go to the next slide. I think we're moving on to youth apprenticeship. So we do a lot of things here at AJAC. And one thing that Maria actually mentioned is our presentations are always just very information packed. So we're trying to keep it a little bit lighter today. So you can think of this separate from the Manufacturing Academy program. But I also wanted to highlight this. I'm not sure where everybody on the call is from, but I know the North Central region is huge and it includes Moses Lake. So just in case there's anybody in the area, I wanted to talk about our youth apprenticeship program. This was something that we started in 2016, and we were approached by the state and asked to develop a training program to help high school students connect to careers in manufacturing. So while Manufacturing Academy, what I was just talking about, is open to any age, the youth apprenticeship program is specifically for high school students. And so I just wanted to highlight the program that we have up in that region and let you know we're working on bringing the program to more places across the state always. But right now, as it stands, our youth apprenticeship program is based out of Columbia Basin Technical Skills Center in Moses Lake, which serves quite a few different school districts. I mean, a ton of different school districts. So any student that's attending a school district that can attend CB Tech would be eligible for this program. The youth apprenticeship program is a 2,000-hour on-the-job training program, which translates to roughly a year and a half or 2 years of part-time work at an employer. What's really unique is these high school students get to attend class at Columbia Basin Skills Center. The high school students attend class for 2 days out of the week at the Skills Center. And then for the other 3 days of that week, instead of going to their Skills Center class, they actually go to work at a local employer and get to earn hours towards a journeyman's card. The program that they're enrolled in is called Automation Technician, which is a program focused on maintenance skills for the manufacturing industry. As we all know, there's a lot of automation coming into manufacturing, which means that we need people that understand how those automated systems work and they understand how to maintain and troubleshoot and diagnose anything that goes wrong. Because anytime something shuts down in a manufacturing plant, you need someone that can help out to fix it and get you back on meeting your production goals. So this program gives high school students the opportunity to go to an employer and work underneath a mentor that has worked in the industry for a long time and learn some of those skills to start their career. So like I said, they go to their Columbia Basin Skills Center classes 2 days out of the week. The other 3 days they go to work. They report those hours to AJAC, those 2,000 hours. And then while they're attending those classes, they actually receive dual credit. So they get their high school credit and then they also get college credit for the classes that they attend at the Skills Center. So by the end of the program, the students do get a journeyman's card as an automation technician from Washington State Department of Labor and Industries. And like this says, ideally, the students are at permanent full-time jobs upon completion of the program. You know, most of the employers will keep those students on, but the students do have an option after completing the program if they want to go to university or technical or trade school or just stay at their employer. There's a lot of different opportunities for our youth apprentices. So I just wanted to highlight this program and say if you or anybody you know of can feed into the CB Tech Skills Center, this is a great opportunity for any high school students that want to learn more about manufacturing and really get a good start in their career. Another thing I forgot to mention is that while they're working on the job for those 2,000 hours, it is paid on the job training. So it's a really good opportunity to make a little bit of money as well, have a part-time job, and then also get that certification and education to support you know, their learning in the manufacturing industry. All right, I think we can go to the next slide. And I do think it would be good to play the youth apprenticeship video. Just explains a little more about what the program is from one of our youth apprentices.
Didn't have too much of the manufacturing or machining backgrounds.
I haven't had any experience with any CNC at all, or machining or manufacturing. What I would have thought of manufacturing was like just put on a part and it goes down the conveyor belt, you know, but it's a lot more than that.
Now I know a lot more after 5 months of working here. I like to being able to work in the field of aerospace and create airplane parts. I was impressed.
Well, just being able to take a raw material and turn it into a finished part, just using simple machining operations, it really gets me going.
The youth apprentice classes are in the evenings. Raquel's able to go to class at night and she learns things at school and then able to come in the very next day and then start to apply those things actually in a job setting.
Every day I just think about this opportunity I was given and I just want to take it to the fullest extent. Go in the AJAC classes and learn as much as I can.
We are looking for the types of individuals that are willing to learn. It's really that simple. Are you willing to show up to work on time, ready to go, willing to learn and make parts and work with equipment?
The classes that I take after school, sometimes they really improve what I know and really gives me a foothold on my future career.
There's really no limit of what you can do through this company and program.
In the state of Washington, if you are an apprentice, you have 50% reduced tuition. You have college credit attached to each one of your classes.
So it's on-the-job training. So I learn while I earn.
As their skills increase, so does their pay at a certain step. Once they go through the program, they have the opportunity to earn up to $28,000 in a 2,000-hour program.
It's a major head start out, an amazing experience.
Summertime, I was full-time. Even part-time, I was still making good money.
For me, I'm always going to keep striving.
And I plan on staying here as long as I can.
Perfect, thank you. So I think it's always just good to hear a little bit from our youth apprentices on their experience and why they enjoy being in the program. I know that one was a little more aerospace focused. That's just because over in Seattle, we have a huge aerospace market. But I will say our youth apprentices in Moses Lake are working in all sorts of different industries. So at the CB Tech program, we partner with SGL Carbon. We partner with Joyson Safety Systems. Stoke Space Technologies just signed on with us, and then Afraid of Machinery is another one of our employers up there. So, and those are all four very different places to work, all focusing on the same types of skills. So, like I said, there's opportunity in a lot of different sub-industries and manufacturing for our students. And then you can go ahead to the next slide. Yeah, so I just wanted to highlight a lot of times when people ask, you know, like we're based in Yakima, we're teaching this program virtually for Manufacturing Academy. You know, a lot of people want to know where are some of the places that I might be able to work when I finish Manufacturing Academy. So I just wanted to highlight some of the employers that we have kind of in more of the Chelan and Douglas and Wenatchee area that, you know, we've either had conversations with, or they have, you know, I was talking to Tammy and some of the others this morning. Some of them have locations in Yakima and Wenatchee, so that can make it easier for me to make a connection with an employer. So I just wanted to highlight some of them and also show that in the Wenatchee area, North Central Washington, there's a ton of manufacturing, and I'm sure I'm missing some different places too. You know, so when we talk about placement at the end of our program, at the end of Manufacturing Academy and being placed at an employer, you would be doing a lot of different things. And so one of the things that we like to do is highlight and get to know you and see what you're interested in, and then refer you to employers that meet that interest. So, you know, we do have Pacific Aerospace and Electronics in Wenatchee. We've had some great conversations with them, and I know that they have a few job openings. Then there's a lot of food processing up there, which has been just a super exciting industry for me to learn about. We also have a lot of food processing in Yakima, where I'm at. And so it's just been crazy to see how all of that works. You know, when you talk about where does our food come from when we buy it from the store, and what has it, you know, how do we get it from, you know, the farm to the grocery store to where I'm cooking it at home. And it's really cool to see how all of that works. So, there's Chelan Fruit and Treetop is up there. Treetop is one of our partnering employers. They have a lot of really cool different opportunities. And if you're ever interested in seeing how applesauce or apple juice is made, very cool to see what Treetop does. Then there's always employers that support, we do a lot in logistics as well, or sometimes it's manufacturing when you're talking about packaging. So Michelson Packaging is another one. It's interesting. A lot of times, you'll see these like big manufacturing employers, and then there's a lot of smaller manufacturing employers that have to support the process of the larger ones, right? Like manufacturing the packaging that fruit and food products need to go into, or manufacturing plastic or different things like that. So, there's also the logistics side of it, right? Where we have to get it from point A to point B to sometimes point C. And so there's this whole logistics, supply chain and logistics piece of it too. So I just wanted to take a second to say there's a lot of opportunity in the area. And with the way that workforce is right now, if you or someone does the Manufacturing Academy program, I have employers that are just ready to hire people that have an idea of what manufacturing looks like, and they're excited to train. And I will say, I think we're at about 85%, 90% of our graduates get placed at an employer, regardless of which part of the state they're in. So there's opportunity all over the state for manufacturing. All right, we can go to the next slide. Okay, so how to enroll, always a good thing to know, and what are the requirements to get into either one of our programs. For Manufacturing Academy, like I said, that one we take anybody 16 and up, and 16 just because, we're looking at working at the end of it, so you have to be the legal age to work. For our students that are attending virtually, it is important to have a pretty stable internet connection and access to a computer. We do all of the classes over Zoom, like I said, but it won't be, Zoom or like a class where you're just doing it self-paced. You'll actually be joining a live classroom with people and be able to interact with Stephen during the class and have that time for learning. So like I said, classes are taught online. Those classes run from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Monday through Friday. So hopefully that time would work with your schedule. That's another important piece. And then, like I said, at the end, we will connect you to manufacturing employers in the area. I think another important thing for Manufacturing Academy is if you're the type of person that likes to take things apart and put them back together, or you've worked on cars, or you've like built your own computer, that kind of stuff, and you like learning about that, don't let any of the subjects intimidate you. Stephen is a great instructor, and we are all about bringing people up to the level that employers need, no matter where you're starting from. So, for Manufacturing Academy, we don't require any previous education or anything like that. We have people start from all different walks of life, and we're happy to teach anybody that wants to learn and is interested in learning more about the industry. As far as youth apprenticeship requirements, the requirements for youth apprenticeship for the one up in the North Central area would be that the students are at a high school, they can attend Columbia Basin Technical Skills Center. So one of the school districts that feeds into CB Tech. And the students do need to currently be enrolled in high school as a junior or a senior and at least 16 years old, again, because legal age to work. So the student would need to attend the Skills Center program in person in Moses Lake, and then also be able to work at one of our partnering employers. So some of the other things we look at for youth apprentices are that they have reliable transportation, a good work ethic, and things like that. So you can go to the next slide. I think it's our website. Perfect. Yeah. So this is a great slide. If you have your phone with you and you want to learn more, take a picture of this slide. You've got my email address off to the right. I am happy to answer any questions that you have about the programs and help guide you through the process to enroll. You can submit all of our programs. You can apply online. So our website is ajactraining.org. That's AJAC. We are not AJAX. That's a soap, I think. So we're AJAC, not AJAX. I've also seen AJAX towing. So there's a few different ones, but so we're AJAC, AJAC training.org. And Actually, I think it's on the next slide. If you want to go there, I can kind of highlight which areas you'd go to enroll for each program. So yeah, this is what our homepage looks like. We are updating it soon. It can be a little bit busy and overwhelming, but right along the top of that page, you know, in the gray area, if you're interested in Manufacturing Academy, that's also called pre-apprenticeship. So you can just click on that pre-apprenticeship tab and you'll get to our Manufacturing Academy page, and you'll see a big button that says apply today. If you or anyone you know is interested in the youth apprenticeship program, you can just click on that youth tab again at that gray line kind of along the top, and you'll see the application button on that page as well. So that is the best way to apply, is to click either of those links and then apply online. Or thank you, Tammy, for putting my email in the chat. Or you can email me before you apply if you have any other questions, and I can walk you through the process as well. I think that's all I have. I am ahead of time for the first time ever.
Thank you, Heather. That was an
Thank
awesome
you.
presentation and lots of good information for our students out there. So now it's time to open up for questions. Feel free to type anything in the chat, or we can have you unmute yourself. So at this point, go ahead and ask any questions in the chat or in unmuting yourself. I do have some questions of my own while we wait for those to pop in. And the first one is, can you tell us, Heather, if you have this information, what is the success rate of a student successfully completing the program and also being able to connect with an employer for employment?
For Manufacturing Academy,
Mhm.
so our success, we normally have about 80% of students that start class finish it. And that's normally just different things, life emergencies and things happening. I'll say we will teach anybody that shows up to class. As far as placement rate at an employer, we're between 85 and 90% placement at employers. And with the way that the work, you know, the economy is right now, there's a lot of employers looking for work. So I will just say, if you want to work, we can find a job in manufacturing for you, for sure.
Awesome. And what would you say is the average wage for a machinist?
For a machinist, that's a good question. You know, I think right now for a machinist that has some training and things, I know on average across the state is hard. It's so different between Seattle and, you know, the eastern side of the state, but it's probably somewhere around 25, 26 an hour on average. But that typically takes a little more training than what Manufacturing Academy would provide. I will say for our students that are entry level and don't have experience in manufacturing and they come through Manufacturing Academy, probably the average wage is around $19 an hour for that entry level job. And then depending on the students that come through, we do have some come through that have some manufacturing experience and they just want to enhance their skills. They tend to start a little bit higher because they can go into leadership positions or a little bit higher positions since they already have some experience.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for that. That's a really good starting wage.
Yes.
Do they get other certificates other than the OSHA and the MPG and the first aid?
The only other certificate we do forklift training. So you'll get a forklift safety certificate. And then if you can make it in person, we can do some driving tests, or we might be able to work something out to drive up to the Wenatchee area to teach for a couple of days. So that is the other certificate we offer, is the forklift certification. We also do a lean manufacturing certification. We don't get into like lean manufacturing goes through like green belt and things like that. So we don't get quite up to that level, but we do about 10 hours of lean manufacturing training and provide a certificate for that as well.
Awesome. Thank you. How many hours do students have to complete for their apprenticeship?
Yes, so for the youth apprenticeship, students need to complete 2,000 hours of work. How that translates is normally that's about 1 year of full-time work, but since the students at CB Tech would currently be in high school, they work part-time during the school year, and then they work full-time during the summer and holiday breaks. So for the youth apprentices to get to those 2,000 hours, it normally takes them about 1.5 to 2 years, just depending on what their schedule looks like.
Okay, thank you. And for the program that's online or the hybrid program, if a student doesn't have a computer, would that be something that you guys can provide or assist with?
Yes, so we can definitely assist with that. We have a lot of partners across the state that help with workforce training and funding for things like that. So if the computer is your only barrier, we can certainly provide one for you or find a partner of ours that will provide one for you. I would say the main thing that's been hard to help out students with is an internet connection. So access to internet is pretty important, but if they have somewhere they can go, honestly, like WorkSource is a great option. If they can get headphones and sit at WorkSource or a library and connect from there, that would work as well. So.
Great. Would you recommend any specific skill for students? Let me rephrase that question. For students who are listening, what would be some ideal skills that would be useful in the AJAC's manufacturing program?
Yeah, so like I said, we don't really require any certain skills to start, but I think it's kind of that interest in doing things with your hands and doing that hands-on learning. If you're the type that's interested in how things work and you're always asking about how things work and what can I, do to learn that, that's always good. A good understanding of basic math principles is always good to have. There's a lot of math in manufacturing, which, like Stephen said, don't let that intimidate you. A lot of times this is applied math. It's not the same thing that you're going to be doing at maybe a more traditional math class. But yeah, so I would say a good knowledge of math and just a good knowledge of tools can help sometimes. I mean, we're more than willing to teach that to you, but if you've used different types of tools before, that can always be helpful as well.
Okay, another question. So there's some schools do teach machining courses. Would any of those machining courses transfer into the manufacturing or the machining courses that you guys offer at AJAC's?
Yes, so a lot of the programs that we offer, especially like the youth apprenticeship, is college accredited. The students can take those college credits and put them into different colleges across the state, definitely like technical schools and things like that. So they do transfer between different areas. As far as getting into manufacturing academy or any of our apprenticeships, yeah, we have our committee look over any of the classes that someone has already taken, and then we'll see if we can apply them towards our program. But for manufacturing academy, that's not needed. So
okay, thank you. And we do have another question here. Is AJAC's planning to start a youth apprenticeship program in Wenatchee area where students take courses at Columbia Basin Tech or take classes at another location? And did you say that they're already taking them they're already available at Columbia Basin Tech?
Yes. So just to clarify right now, the youth apprenticeship classes are, as far as I'm thinking of the North Central area, I know that's just a huge area of Washington. So right now, they're currently running at Columbia Basin Tech, and they'll continue to run, into the upcoming years. We would love to start a youth apprenticeship program in the Wenatchee area. I'll say that we have some good conversations going around that. And so, of course, at any time that we launch that, I'll be happy to do another presentation and talk more about that. So we're still working on that, but definitely I would love to see that opportunity in the Wenatchee area.
Awesome, thank you. A few more questions. Is this program, or AJAC's in general, available for other people that are not students? So any job seeker, or is
That's
it more?
Correct.
Okay.
No, yeah. So Manufacturing Academy, I know it's hard when I'm talking about two programs. Manufacturing Academy is open to anybody, any job seeker, anyone across the state that's just interested in getting their foot in the door into manufacturing, where the Columbia Basin Skills Center program is specifically for high school students. But yes, at AJAC, we have many different levels of programs, and so we can serve anybody of pretty much any age. So,
and for anyone out there interested in applying, do they have to have authorization to work in the U.S. to be able to apply to your program?
That is not required to apply to the program, no.
Okay. Do you guys look at any backgrounds when you're having someone apply to your program?
That's a great question. So for Manufacturing Academy, we don't do any background checks. We don't do anything like that. Honestly, like I said, if you want to learn and you want to engage in the classes, you're more than welcome to join us. Really, the only thing that we're looking for, like I said, is that you want to learn. The other part of the process for applying to Manufacturing Academy, I'll say our online application is really easy, just so you know. It's basically your name, your phone number, and your email so that I can contact you. And then the other piece that we'll do is we'll try to help connect you to workforce funding in your local area that sometimes can help you with, you know, getting interview clothing or gas to get to work or class or anywhere that you're going. So we do try to provide you with some other support services in your local area. And then, like I said, at the end of class, us and any of our partnering organizations will try to help place you at an employer. But yeah, as
Awesome.
far as the program, I will say we don't require a high school diploma or GED. We don't require a background check, but then we'll talk about those things when it comes to referring you to employers, because each employer will have a different process for, you know, what they do. And so we'll talk about those things at the end of class.
Awesome. And one last question. Can you remind us what the cost of this program is to any applicant?
Yeah, there's no cost to the program for applicants, which is amazing. So like I said earlier, we partner with different organizations and other nonprofits in the area that can help cover the cost of tuition for you, but it will never cost the student anything to attend this class.
That is great news. Well, thank you, Heather, for all those questions or all those answers. I don't see any more questions in the chat. Does anyone else have any questions before we hand it off to the NCESD? All right, over to you, Tammy.
So don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel there. It's CCL Washington North Central. That is where you can find all of our recordings for virtual Meet the Employer events, as well as other career panels and career connected learning resources. Within 24 hours, all of our virtual Meet the Employers and all of our virtual events are uploaded to our YouTube channel. So don't forget to subscribe.
Thank you. And stay tuned for our next virtual Meet the Employer series. We will post the dates on our WorkSource WA calendar as soon as we get those dates. And that's all the information that we have for you guys today. Thank you all for joining us for a great presentation. And we will see you all soon.
Thank you.